What's up, y'all? Yo, dang, dude, playing around with this OTT compressor on the input, dude, you get some nice sounds out of it. So yeah, I had Lo-Fi 12 XT just running directly into M8, and then I'm using M8 like a little, I don't even know, little mini SP404 Mark II basically. Because yeah, it kind of sounds like the vinyl sim sort of thing, but something else going on with OTT that's pretty dope. All right, let's keep on rocking here. Oh, wait, let me make sure my audio is right. Heyo. Okay, we're gonna switch it up here. What else we got? Cosm? Is this beat? Oh, yeah, let me turn OTT back off. This one sounds funky. XT back on. Just listening to this one. I must have misnamed it. Alright, let's listen to one more Lo-Fi 12 XT beat, and then we'll get started. What do we got here? What's up, music underscore? It's cracking, man. Okay, so you're asking... Here, let me turn it up. So you're asking, what are my go-to places to acquire samples? Dude, there's plenty of places. Trying to think, like records is usually where I sample stuff from, but you can also sample stuff on the internet too, so like YouTube and stuff. Yeah, I don't really have great insight on where to find samples. Like I don't know, I don't really check like, our drum kits or any of the usual spots. I feel like I mostly just kind of like explore music and record it and create my own sample libraries. So yeah, I don't have really any good advice for you on where to find samples, but yeah, if there's any places you've been going to lately, dude, definitely drop them in the chat so everyone else can know. Yo, engineer. So you're asking, I'm sure you've answered this many times, but what are the buttons you're using on the M8? The keycaps. Dude, that is a great question. I'm glad you asked. Turn back down here. Okay, so the thing about the M8 is that I actually took the keycaps off. There's no keycaps. These are just switches. So the keycap is like the thing that goes on top of it. So I removed that from the equation entirely, so I can operate it faster, basically. But yeah, so these are, the switches are called chalk, ambient silent chalk, I think. Oh man. Here, I'll look it up and put it in the chat so you can check it out. But yeah, it's basically by like Low Pro keyboard. And so I put them in, but then I don't even have like the keycap on it. It's just the switch. So it's just, we're raw dogging it, basically. So let me get that link. No, not at all. There's just literally nothing there. I know, and people call me a mad lad for doing this, but I really like having it like as slim as possible. I'm telling you, when it's like this, you can like pretty much put it in your pocket. Like I feel like the keycaps kind of raise it up a little too much. And with the Model 2, you'll see that there's actually an indent where the switch goes in. So it's already kind of like sitting in. So if you take the caps off, then it becomes like even more narrow and thin. Yeah, I did this video once where I had like a Game Boy Color and this thing, and I put them side by side. It was like basically the same amount that they were sticking out like for the buttons and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my MO here, is just keep it thin, slide it in the pocket if necessary. But yeah, not everyone does that. Most people have the caps on there. I don't know if there's really any drawback to it. I guess it's exposed, so if I like accidentally like spill something on it, it's like gonna be a problem for me. But I don't know, if you're spilling something on the M8, you're probably gonna have problems either way. So that's kind of how I do things with the old keycaps here. Yeah, dude, way slimmer. I'm into that. All right, been listening to that loop for a while. Let's go ahead and switch it up, and we are gonna get started here. I gotta load one of my empty projects. So yeah, we're gonna be working with the classic M8, and then I've also got the Lo-Fi 12 XT here to do some backup as well. And yeah, the plan for today is I'll be using Lo-Fi 12 XT to kind of like trigger VSTs on the computer, which I'll then record into the M8, and then I'll be able to chop stuff on the M8 or kind of arrange it there. Although I do have to do the rhythm section on this thing, so I'm gonna first create the drum pattern on M8, then we'll switch over to Lo-Fi, play in some keys and stuff, record it back in, and then from here I'll be able to kind of keep working on the arrangement. And yeah, probably make a couple beats and then call it a day. So let's get into it, and we'll get started here. First things first, with a new project. Even though this one was already blank, I just want to get rid of some of those settings that I was messing with, like the OTT and stuff. Okay, so yeah, and then BPM, just keep it at 90 for now. Let's load up some drum sounds and build the rhythm section. So we'll start with the snare. And yeah, there is some interesting stuff that I want to try with the rhythm section. I've been experimenting with like using modulation to kind of like switch up some of the sounds and sequencing and stuff. So we'll get into that, and maybe I could show you a cool example as I'm trying to like kind of figure it out. Okay, snare drum, what are we doing here? That one sounds dope. Put a little envelope on it though. So yeah, when I'm working on the drum pattern, basically I just kind of select the sounds that I want to use together. And then after that is when I kind of do like the more detailed sequencing. So right now we're just listening to the snare. See if I can find a kick drum here. I feel like this thing we could probably beef up using the EQ controls, so we'll do that. Oh yeah, let me turn it up too. Dude, GG, what's up, man? Dude, just got done jamming on the M8. Dude, I had to throw in that parenthesis S, dude. I know what you're talking about. Jamming on the M16, dude. That sounds very violent, so I'm not gonna say that again. But dude, that's what's up. Yeah, man. Dude, M8 is fun. I'm having the time of my life working on this thing. It's pretty dope. Okay, so I gotta do envelope on the kick drum as well. Oh, I have to set a destination too, otherwise it's not gonna do anything. Alright, bring up the decay. Okay, and so this is where the magic happens. So you go EQ. Dude, over here, you can just like really beef up the bass on the kick. Might even be clipping at that point, I'm not really sure. I'll do 10. Bring down the mids. And then, dude, I love doing this. You put it on a high cut, and then you kind of just move it around. So you just get a little bit of the high end coming through. Sounds fat. Okay, so that's the kick. And then we got the snare. Maybe make it a little bit louder. Okay. All right, so the hi-hat is where things will get kind of interesting. So let me check it out here. Gonna load one up. I like this one. Let me just drop a note in. It's not what I meant to do. There we go. And yeah, so this hop command here is basically just having the sequencer reset. So it goes all the way back to the top once it gets to it. So it's basically just playing the hi-hat over and over again, which I want to hear over and over again so I can do the envelope on it. So not too bad. Yeah, I pitched it like way down just to give it like a different kind of character to the sound. Doesn't sound too bad. But yeah, so music's asking, can you sync two M8s together? And then GG says, yep, just need to adjust the MIDI in and out, plug them into each other. Yeah, it can send like transport controls so you can have them play at the same time. You you could have like, I don't know, one play on the other, or I don't know why you want to do that. But yeah, you can basically do the transport controls to where they play synced, so you can have them basically parallel, and it'll give you like 16 tracks instead of 8 tracks, which is pretty dope. Yeah, that's a good question, Gigi. What do you find most useful about having 2 of them together? You get like twice the modulation slots, or I don't know, is there any other crazy stuff that you do with where you got 2 of them? All right, let me see here. Okay, so yeah, this is where I kind of want to try and use the modulation stuff with the hi-hat. So you can set one of the mod slots to target the volume, and you get that kind of like fading in and out of the levels. So instead of having to put like different velocities on each step, you can use something like this to sort of like bring it up and down. And then the frequency allows you to set like how long it takes for the modulation to cycle all the way through. So with a frequency of 4, it's basically going through the entire modulation cycle in 4 steps. That's what the number is. It's for the number of steps, which is a quarter note. If this were 1/0, which is 16 in hexadecimal, that would be an entire phrase that it takes to go up and down. But we kind of want the hi-hats to do like a sort of like a so it's like high, low, high, low, high, low. So 4 is actually pretty good for that, because it's just like, you know, basically the first step it plays max volume, and then the third step, which would be 2 steps after, is when it plays at like reduced volume. And then you can adjust the amount to have it be like, it'll travel further from the set velocity. So if you have it all the way up, it's going like, you know, super quiet to super loud. Whereas if you have it a little bit tighter, it's kind of keeping the volume not as like wide of a swing, basically. But something important about this is that if you're stopping and starting playback, it's going to have the LFO trigger at like different points. I think it's basically connected to when you press play. Yeah, so it's all kind of relative to like when you're pressing the play button. So it's good to have a command that kind of like sets it at a certain phase so that the LFO has the same shape on the same notes that it's hitting. Hope I explained that right. So you do LT 3, because we're working with mod 3 right now. That's the LFO that's controlling the volume. And so for this one, it says trigger LFO trigger at offset, resets LFO to a given position. So we can have it set, you know, halfway through 50%. You could do it at like 25%. It would be nice if there was like a visualization, but obviously that would be extra. You can kind of imagine where it is, because with a triangle, which is what I have it set to now, it's like, I think it starts in the middle, goes up, goes down, and then goes back to the middle. So if it's starting in the middle, you want to start at the top for it to be like the loudest volume, which I think would be 25%. See what that looks like. And yeah, you can see kind of like the dot above the volume where I have the selection. Oh, dude, I didn't even have the screen on. Whoops. You guys are having to pinch and zoom. My bad. Okay. There you go. Try not to let that happen again. But yeah, so basically you can see it above the FF volume. It's kind of like hovering around the top. So I think if I adjust the phase of the LFO, I can have it start a little bit less than that. Let me try that. We'll try 50%, see what that looks like. Oh, dude, I need to put 2 notes in as well because it just keeps resetting it. Maybe I had the right idea with 50 or 25%. Let me try that again. Oh, there you go. You hear it? I think it's going up and down. Let me take a look though. Yeah, so I can hear it kind of going up and down, so I think it's working correctly, but I probably will need to polish my thoughts off on like how exactly it functions so I can explain it in a video. But yeah, let me check up on the chat here. So let's see. The engineer says there's a YouTube who does that. Exhibits a lot of tracks made with 2 M8s. Dude, you might be talking about Gigi. Gigi says way less resampling. 2 sets of touchscreen. Oh, dude, that sounds sick. I hadn't even thought about that. Dude, just like getting wild with 2 screens. That sounds fun. 2 stereo outs. Yeah, dude, that's what's up. Way more granular with the drums. Yeah, when you run out of tracks and you have to like resample and commit it, sometimes it feels like you can even save the original chains or whatever, but it's kind of like more trouble to go back to them sometimes. So definitely feel it, just having more polyphony and tracks basically. I'm into it. All right, so we've got some basic modulation here, and we're doing volume, and then we've got the envelope. So another thing you could do to modulate to get the hi-hat sounding kind of different is you can do modulation of pitch. And so this would kind of simulate like, I don't know if it really would simulate, I don't know much about real drums, but like maybe sound kind of like hitting different parts of the hi-hat, the actual like drum, I guess. But you can hear right now it's kind of like super wild. It's like sounding like it's modulating too much. So what I'm going to do is bring the modulation down really tight. I'm pretty sure that each of these, like 1 0, 2 0, 3 0, 4 0, these are like the number of semitones that it'll go up and down from the starting semitone or whatever you have the tuning set to. So if you do it like less than 1, anything under like 1 0 is going to get you kind of like a finer tuning of the sample. And then right now I have the frequency at 1 0, which is an entire phrase. So let's do the same thing as what I had on the volume, which is 4, 0, 4. So you can hear some of the hi-hats sound higher pitched or lower pitched. It's kind of a big swing though, so you can bring it down even further. Do like 0, 6. And this is adjusting the tuning of it by like a very small amount, less than a semitone. It's not bad. And then we got one more mod slot. And there is kind of a wonky trick that I wanted to show related to micro timing. So there's like a configuration you can do with the instrument where you can basically set it to play as a forward loop. Probably a little hard here, but and the fact that there's an envelope means that it doesn't actually loop forever after it plays. It just loops until the envelope kind of gates it. So let me just hear what this sounds like. And so right now we're on beat, so it's like there's just a step on step 0 and step 2. I'll turn this up so it's easier to hear. So what you can do is, when you have it set to forward loop, you can make the start point the end of the sample, and then you pull it back a little bit, and it'll actually kind of like delay the timing of the note. It's hard to explain, but here, take a look. or let's hear it with the other drums. It'll be easier to recognize. So starting with nothing. Now I'm bringing it up. So it kind of sounds like off grid basically. If you push it all the way to the end, then it's basically just going to start at the beginning of the sample. So the way to get the micro timing is to pull it back, have the start point be all the way at the end, which makes it loop, so it plays from the beginning, but then you just pull it back. And then another interesting trick with this is modulating the loop start. So you can like kind of have it even swing even more, basically. But yeah, so music is saying you can set random retrig on the LFO. You're talking about this one, right? The trig parameter. Like this one, I guess. So this says once, hold, and then that says retrig, and then that says free. So how would you do the random? Is that I don't know how to do that actually. Once, hold, retrig. Maybe retrig? Oh, the oscillator would be random. Okay, so this is random. So you do random retrig? Yeah, that sounds kind of interesting. Alright, we're going to keep it at random. I like that. It's good tip music. Gather thread. Sample and hold on the oscillator. Sample and hold on the oscillator. Like the destination. Oh man, I'm so confused. Alright, let me put this on pitch. Keep it on random retrig. But yeah, so we've got one more mod slot. So I'm going to do destination, loop start. And so just like before, where I was adjusting the start point here to kind of pull it back, this can do a similar thing. Let me bring the frequency down as well. And so what I'm controlling here is like the kind of width or amount that it's adjusting the start point. So this is just keeping it the way I had it. And this is kind of like, you know, modulating it. It starts to sound kind of weird if you like open it up too much. Keep it a little tight though. And yeah, I haven't even been messing around too much with the oscillators. Let's try, so music's talking about trying the drunk one. Let's see what that does. Might be better for like volume or something. Sounds kind of tight though. And yeah, just to give you some context here, so let me copy and paste this. It'll clear all this stuff. Oh man, I actually did want to keep that. Okay. All right, so just for some context, so this is the modulated hi-hat thing that we've been doing, which is just 2 notes, by the way. And then this is 2 notes without any of the modulation, but it's the same instrument. Whoops. Yeah, that drunk LFO is doing some crazy stuff. But yeah, so the point of it all basically is that you can get a little bit more of a dynamic sequence just using modulation. So it's literally just 2 notes, which would normally kind of like loop and sound static, but when you have like the volume modulating and you have the other parameters modulating, you get something a little bit more unique. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been messing around with. So we'll keep that. And then I'll put some cool stuff on the kick and snare. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you got to get those hi-hats swinging. It's kind of the hallmark of interesting drum sections. It's keeping things moving, dynamic, adding different elements, stuff like that. Okay, so let's do some other micro timing stuff. One of my other favorite tricks, which is using this table configuration. I'll do this for the kick drum. All right, paste it. And then yeah, this uses like a table hop to basically delay the triggering of notes. Then you can use the nth command to like kind of bring stuff in and out at different points in how many times the loop or the phrase loops, basically. So let's take a look here. Nth. And yeah, I like putting these on the ghost notes just to like kind of have them come in and out. So I've got all these drums. There's like a ton of kicks here. So we can start having stuff show up just every other time, just on the first and third time, just on the first time. There's like a bunch of different possibilities with this. Dude, Gat Earthward says, early in the morning, strap shoes on my feet. That's good advice, dude. Definitely want to be wearing shoes. All right, what else we got here? We're working with some sublime grooves here, that's for sure. All right. Just do a little bit of micro timing stuff to the snare, and then we'll start adding some melodic stuff. So let's see. Get the old THO command in there. There's something wonky going on with the hi-hat. I'm going to tweak it a little bit. All right, sounded pretty chill. And then music saying you could add a chance command to the table hop micro timing. Yeah, so you would do CHA, and it says chance of note / command's first digit affects left, second digit affects right. Oh, you put chance to the left. Just like that. Whoops. And so this is a chance of like whether it's going to play with no micro timing, so it doesn't do the table hop, or then it does do the table hop. Or when the chance triggers, does it just not play at all? Yeah, I'm not really sure how to set it up to where it would be like, yeah, left is trigger note, so it skips the snare. It's not bad. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's do this. We'll do like 66%. Okay. I like that. Dude, music, dropping knowledge. That's what's up. Appreciate it. Okay. Got some cool stuff going on here. Let's add some melody. The melodics. And that's what this thing's for. Let me first up get us set up here. I gotta open up a sampler instrument. And then I'm going to jump into the record screen and just set some things up here. So song is 0, 0, arm is 0, 0, and then I'll do C0 for the volume. Just doing some pre-setup there. And then I want to be able to hear the input because I have the Lo-Fi 12 XT going into this thing. So we'll do same as the record screen, C0. And we should be all done with M8 for now. So let's take a look at Lo-Fi. Alright, so the way I have this set up is the USB is doing audio and MIDI to a VST on my computer basically. I'm using Analog Lab Pro, which I picked up on sale. It's been pretty dope. But then I have the headphone going into the M8. So we basically hear the sounds from the VST on the M8. And we can play it using these expressive pads, which is very nice. So I just need to make sure the MIDI is going out to USB. Whoa, my hi-hats are like doing some weird stuff. What the heck is it doing? Dude, I might have jacked it up a little bit. We're gonna keep it the way it is though. Okay, let's see. Welcome to the wonderful world of, I don't know, insert funny old show. Okay, so let's see. So that was a bell, but I've got all kinds of presets here. I'm gonna turn the screen on. Let me see if it comes up. There it is. Yeah, it's a little tacky. I'm gonna optimize the stream so it's a little easier to see what I'm doing here. But yeah, basically, you can go through, pick a preset. Let me try and find some like Rhodes or something cool to jam on. Type. Electric piano. Here we go. Not the clav though. E piano? Alright, terribly out of key because I don't know music theory at all, but the Lo-Fi 12 XT can do that for us. So it's got this really cool like scale mode, which I'm going to use. So we can pick a scale, like a Mixolydian. I don't know what that's all about, but I'm gonna Google it once we're done here, and then I can set the root note too. So Mixolydian, EB. Or I could pick a different scale, like Dorian. Yeah, so if I did know music theory, it'd probably be a lot easier to play sounds that sound interesting. But yeah, I kind of just like feel out the voicings of the chords and look for notes that kind of like match or whatever. See what else we got though. Yeah, dude, Gatterthrid knows what's up. You can just vibe on it. Kind of the hardest part is finding an interesting sound. Dude, that sounds kind of nice. Dude, that's a sick chord. Alright, we're just going to freestyle it. So yeah, this is where the fun happens. So basically I can set up M8 as I did before, where it's playing at song row 00 and the arm is 00. So what this means is that once I start the recording, I'm going to get a count in, and then it's going to record whatever I'm playing perfectly in time with the M8. So it'll start at the exact same time, the sample start and then the drum loop. So basically it'll make it super easy to like arrange sounds that I record, chop them up, or do whatever. So let's see if I remember what I was playing. That's the chord. So we're going to hit start. Cool. So I think I got enough interesting sounds in there to probably just chop it up and add whatever I want. So yeah, now we're looking at the recording. Dude, there's always this weird bug where it just says recording. It's like a web display bug. I don't know what that's about. We're going to normalize it though. First things first. Get it sounding nice and fat. Oof, might be too loud now. And then yeah, this is the secret trick here, or the very important part, is that if you hold Option and then you press left or right on the waveform, when you're in the select parameter, it's basically going to show you on the bottom the number of phrases and steps that the length of the sample is. So what you can do is, since we started the recording at exactly the start point of this song, I can set it to an exact number of phrases. So I set it to 20. Then I do crop. And then from here, I can do slice to 0, which is 20 slices, just like the number of phrases. And now everything corresponds to the beginning of a phrase, which is super easy to play around with now. So there's enough good chords in here to like build out something. Probably don't need this one, so I'm going to delete it. Okay, and then we're going to name it random. Angry Limbo. Yikes, I don't know what that's about. Okay, and then go to my test folder and create a directory, which is going to be today's date. Let's see how fast I can type this in. 2025 11-25. I'm feeling alive. Okay, save it, put it in there. And yeah, having the folder helps kind of just keep everything in the same place, so you don't like end up with like a super messy, I don't know where else you might even save this to, but okay, so we've got that. And I'm not going to set the slice. I'm going to keep it off, and I'll explain why in a minute here. And so now we just drop a note in, add the slice, SLI, slice command, where art thou? Here we go. And now I can just audition all of the chords that I recorded. We'll do one more. Now let's find another good one. Yeah, and let me see if I can find one more. That one's kind of interesting. And then you can hear there's a lot of empty space here. So I could add another slice. Whoops. Pretty simple riff, but we can still build on it, particularly by just continuing to play on it. let's record that in. Yeah. So I think I got something interesting there. Oh yeah, music said, can you use Lo-Fi 12 to lo-fi that piano a bit and crush it? So that's a good question. You actually cannot do that with the Lo-Fi 12 XT. You can't do any insert effects on the audio that's coming in through the USB input. Yeah, you can't do audio, or you can't do effects on any inputs, which is kind of a bummer. You have to have the sample recorded to one of the pads to be able to use the effects that are on the EFX page. Maybe they'll add that in a future update though, because I'm sure people have asked about it, and that would be really neat if you could add effects to, yeah, the input signal. But as of right now, you can't do that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you could use degrade on the M8 to make it lo-fi as well. That's a good point. All right, so we're gonna do exact length here, 29 phrases, and 29 phrases is like hella long. It's way too long for me to manage. So I'm definitely just going to trim it down. I feel like the stuff I was playing at the end sounded kind of interesting. So let's do, I don't know, like 13 phrases or something. Let's do 12 phrases. Interesting. So we're going to crop it. Slice 12. Because there's 12 phrases. Random name, what do we get? Deep bond. Whoa. And then I don't really think I need to normalize it. I should be fine. All right, let's see what it sounds like. Sounds kind of tight. All right. Let's get our next track ready. Oh, I forgot to turn on the M8 window. Whoops. Okay. See, we got some other cool sounds. So that's electric piano. Pretty good vibes. What's up next? loud. Oh yeah, bass would actually be a better idea. Let me do bass first. Dude, some of these basses are kind of wonky. I bring it way down though. Kind of fat. Let's see if I can turn down that like reverb though. Sounds dope. Just like a regular bass. See if I can actually play this in. Okay, let me turn this on too. Yeah, I got something good there. So let's check the length here. And we are at 25 phrases. Way too many phrases. So we're going to trim it down. Yeah, I feel like the last like maybe 10 or so probably turn out good. Oh yeah, let me normalize it too. Or I guess I could do that after. Okay, let's see. feel like this is the start of it. Oh crap. What did I do? This part here, methinks. And then I've got this tail end here, which we'll just keep. So crop it. And then, yeah, there is something kind of weird hanging out at the beginning there, so I'm just going to delete it. I'm using M8 as Audacity right now, basically, to delete the section. Oh, shoot. Did I mean to... Well, let me check. Yeah, I totally screwed that up. Let me undo. Boom. Thank goodness for undo. I need to silence this because I need the length to be the exact same so it'll play in time. So, boom. Silence. And now we are back at 9 phrases. So I can do slice 09. And then we'll do random. Definitely got to normalize it. We want the bass loud. Loud and proud. Dude, those slice markers look kind of weird. What's this all about? Yeah, so basically what was happening is I think some of the notes were like going through to the next phrase. So that's why it kind of starts on a whatever, transient or whatever you call that. I think it should be fine though, because it's, yeah. How do I just do the full selection? Yeah, it's 9 phrases, so if I slice 9, it should be fine. Quote me on that. Okay, so I'm going to do, yeah, Cyber Soda, and we're going to save it. Getting very confused here. And drop some notes in and see what's what. Yo, that's pretty groovy. Yo, check up on the chat here. It's blowing up. Oh yeah, sounds kind of weird. I don't know if that's how mix actually works, but yeah, just taking a look here. Dude, talking about small MIDI keyboards. Dude, I did a video about this thing a couple days ago. The, what do you call it? Phantasmal Force by Distropolis Goods. It's pretty chill. The only thing that's kind of a bummer about it is that it doesn't have like internal power. Other than that, it's kind of a nice little compact MIDI controller, and it has TRS too, which is super dope because you can just plug it into the M8 and not have to do any kind of adapter type situation. So this thing's kind of cool, Phantasmal Force, but again, no internal power. It's BYOP, bring your own power. So that's kind of where I got when it comes to like micro MIDI controllers. But yeah, Evan Erickson Music is saying, look up the Wavy Monkey. Small as possible, needs a TRS MIDI out to avoid interface. Yeah, TRS, that's the tough part. I feel like a lot of those microcontrollers are like, they're designed to be used with like a phone or iPad or whatever. So it's kind of hard to find stuff that can do like the actual MIDI connection or whatever. And then Saran Dio says, any tips to start making music and spend less time watching streams? I don't know, man. It kind of depends on like what inspires you to be creative and what motivates you to like work on music and stuff. I don't know, if you find that streams inspire you and you like see something on a stream that you want to try on your own, then it's okay to watch streams instead of make music. But yeah, it kind of depends on sort of like what you enjoy doing about music and making sure you're focusing on that. Sometimes it's like specific types of gear that inspires you because you know the workflow really well, whereas other things might frustrate you if you like don't know how to use it or are having trouble using it. So I don't know, man. It's kind of a tough question, but I would say just like think about what you enjoy about making music and then like try to do that. But yeah, so Evan Erickson Music's talking about the Bluetooth CME WIDI device. Oh yeah, I've seen people post about that on the Dirtywave Discord. Seems kind of interesting. I'll have to take a look as well. Dude, Wavy Monkey, getting all the +1s. Sounds fun. It's got a fun name. Wavy Monkey. Anything that has to do with a monkey, I'm into. Alright. Whoa. Got pretty loud. Alright, so we just added the fat bass, which was music's recommendation. Let's add some other sounds. Maybe like a pad or something. Let me check my bank here. Do some types. What kind of pads do we got? Shout out to all the pads out there. Maybe like a guitar or something. This would be good if I was working on the Final Fantasy soundtrack. I do kind of like the sound of it. Maybe not the vibe though. Dude, this sounds kind of dope. It's a little too dynamic though. Fake brass. It seems sufficiently chill enough. It's kind of like a flute. got it. Might have screwed up at the end there, but it's okay. I think we got enough takes. 17 phrases. Yikes. Let's trim it down. See what 9 sounds like. That was a really good take. Okay, so I'm gonna crop it and then chop it. We crop then chop. You don't chop then crop. Okay, 9. I always forget how long it is. Yep. And then I guess I can normalize it too. This one should be quieter, but I'd rather have it be. Dude, that waveform looks nuts. Beefy. But yeah, it's okay because we can always just bring it down using the volume controls. Orderly worm. Interesting. It's not what I would have named it, but it does kind of look like an orderly worm if you look at it. It's like very, I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna drop a note in, slice, and I gotta turn it down because it's way too loud. Alright, so I got something I want to do here. Let me try this out. Yeah, so basically the second note that plays here, I want it to not play on one of the chains, but then play on the other. That dum. Dum. So I don't want the dum to play. Only on the first one. It'll play on the second one. Okay, so we got it like this. Then I have to do this. Oh gosh. All right. And then from here, this should be slice 0, 0. I think this will work. Should be slice 0, 1. Nice. Checking up on the chat here, dude. A lot of good discourse about the tiny MIDI controllers. Yeah, I gotta look up a picture of the monkey. It sounds tight. The M8 ports power it too. Dude, that's what's up. the this Phantasmal Forest does not get powered over TRS. That would be dope. So I'm gonna look up the Wavy Monkey, see what's up with that. Alright, let's see. Dude, I only got one track left? What the heck? I've squandered all my tracks, but we can always resample, so it's no big deal. What else do we want here? I was talking about electric guitar earlier, or maybe just guitar. Let me see if I can find a cool guitar. Strings. Evan Erickson Music asks, what is your preset machine you're getting the sounds from? Oh yeah, let me turn on. So yeah, I've been using Analog Lab Pro. Here it is. Yeah, so I kind of just click around in here and try and find some cool sounds. I'm very new to like the DAW VST space, so I'm kind of just feeling it out. But this thing seems pretty tight, so that's why I bought it. Like that. Whoops. Okay. Sampler instruments. All right, so there's definitely a good take in there. I recorded way too many though. How many phrases is this? Ugh, 29. Dude, 29 is many, many, many. Started a little bit later though. Let's see if there's a good one like hither. Screw that up. I think that first one was good though, but we can keep it all. And it's good to have like other takes recorded so that you can summon those slices. I know I said summon like we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh or something. But yeah, you can bring in some of those slices for the other takes at various intervals if you want to kind of switch it up with the arrangement. So yeah, let me normalize it and make it louder than it ever needs to be. And do 13 slice. 1, 3. Random. Content soup. Or maybe it's content soup? I don't know. You tell me. Tell me in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to save it. And then same deal as before. Drop a note in and then use the yield slice commands to kind of play it through. And so here's another trick that you can do with this type of recording workflow is I have the notes starting all the way at the top at row 0 because that's playing in time with the recording. But you can hear that the guitar doesn't really hit or the sound doesn't play until basically step 4, maybe step 3. So what I can do is I can move this down to step 3, and because each slice is exactly one phrase, I can use the start command STA. And I can do STA 30 and it'll still be in time with the rest of the arrangement. Basically, each of these like course values, like 10, 20, 30, they can correspond to the row that the slice is playing in. And because the slice is one phrase long, it's going to play at the exact correct time. Basically lets that last slice kind of ring through. Doesn't sound too bad. So now I can start working on bringing certain layers in to kind of have the arrangement build up. Oh dude, I keep forgetting to do this. Okay, so yeah, let's do except like the E piano and the bass. Oh, the bass is on track 6. Trying to put some delay on the guitar layer. Sounds kind of interesting. Smush it up with the OTT. Sounds kind of gnarly. Just a sprinkle. Yo, Chocolate Boy Swagger writes in and says, "What sampler is that?" You're talking about this thing, right? This is the Dirtywave M8. It's a tracker sampler, but I do also have this thing, which is the Lo-Fi 12 XT by Sonicware. So there's two. Dude, heck yeah. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Evan Erickson Music. Dude, appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, it's got a nice sonic sound. I agree. Dude, nice way to fade it out with the delay kind of ringing out. All right, so that was that beat. Oh yeah, I still gotta name it. Okay, we'll listen to it one more time while I name it. See what else we got on here. What the heck is this? Thought I was gonna load up a sick beat and then it just like doesn't sound like anything. Oh, here we go. Some more recent stuff. All right, so that was my fade out. Okay, but yeah, let's do something brand new. So we did one beat, probably do one more. And let's start, as we are wont to do, with the rhythm section. So I'm gonna load up some snare here. Snare. Where's my snare folder? Here we go. Yeah, it's always weird doing the drums first because I'm more of like a sample first kind of guy. So when I'm hearing the drums by themselves, it kind of sounds odd. Whoops. It's nice. Straight off the vinyl, what you call it? Hot off the press. And then we'll do some envelope to get it sounding a little bit more snappy. It's not bad. All right, get some kick drums here. Whoa. Boom, boom, boom. Dude, that sounds nasty. Not this time. Straight up gunshots over here. Oh, dude, this one also has kind of the vinyl, whatchamacallit going on. It's a match made in heaven. Yeah, I might not even need an envelope on the kick, just to keep that kind of vinyl ring out. I'll put like a short one on it, or a long one, I mean. Okay, and we can do EQ as well. Get it sounding fat. Alright, still putting it together. Where's the hi-hat? Never find a good hi-hat. This one sounds interesting, but it's got like kind of a weird bass sound on it. And it's hat 420, so you know it's lit. Let's load it up. Yeah, let me do some sound design on this. Okay. I want this to play over and over again. Yeah, you hear that like weird bass thing? It sounds like I already tried to high pass it out. It's still in there, I guess. It's not bad. There is something weird going on though. Oh, there's like a sort of pop or crackle. Alright, I'm about to delete this thing. Check it out. We're gonna hit it. So this is the crackle. I know you hear it. About to get it out of here. And I'll just straight up delete it. I'm not gonna crop it. Delete. Look at that, and it's gone. It's like magic. Overriding. Okay, so this is sounding pretty chill. Or maybe not. It sounds kind of weird. Oh, let me do the envelope. It's like, it sounds kind of weird. Just gotta tighten it up. Dude, Chocolate Boy Swagger says, I'm a sub. Dude, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Any and all support, I appreciate. I'm the channel by accident, like what I'm hearing. Dude, heck yeah. Are you, Chocolate Boy Swagger, are you a beat maker yourself? What do you like to make beats on? If so. Alright, let's, it's already sounding kind of lo-fi, but maybe I'll put some degrade on it. Yo, there's that sonic we were talking about. Alright, so this sounded kind of chill. So now let's do the micro timing stuff, which is a little bit challenging on M8, but not impossible. So I gotta load up an instrument here. Micro time. What time is it? It's micro time. You know the time. Oh yeah, so I need to paste this. Boom. And while we're here, let me just put it in all of them. Okay, so we've got our micro timing configuration. And basically the way this works is you put the table hop command and then it pulls the note back. You know, I feel like I explain this every time, but I gotta let the people know. So you hear this one is like way off the grid. Oh yeah, we're at 90 BPM. Let me change it. $87. So yeah, now it's a little bit off grid. Sounding pretty dope. Let me try one other thing though. So this is something that wait. This might not work because of the table configuration. I was gonna try and do a table thing to kind of like make the decay of the envelope, or the decay of the envelope kind of open and close, but I'm not gonna risk it. Because yeah, I don't really know what's going on here. Okay, yo, Gar Magnus. Dude, what's up, man? What's cracking? Alright, next up is the kick. And you know we gotta do that boom bap ba boom. Dude, Gar Magnus says, what if the M8 Model 3, dude, we're talking about the future right now, was 1/3 larger and included sample audition keys? Dude, approve or oppose? Put me on the spot here. Dude, let me tell you something. I would love it if it had built-in audition keys. Like if you had like something that you could play live into, it only needs to be one button. It doesn't even need to be more than one. If I could do that and play it into the sequence, that would be dope. I would pre-order that. I would pre-order the heck out of that. I think you're onto something, Gar Magnus. Because yeah, I'm telling you, I've been shopping around for the micro MIDI controller. Some people in the chat were talking about some dope ones I'm going to check out. The Wavy Monkey, I think was one people were talking about. And then someone said something else too. I have to go there and check. Not going to find it right now. But yeah, I'm into that, dude. I think you're onto something, is all I'm going to say. Alright, so like maybe right here. I gotta see if I can fix something on here. I feel like there's something on the left channel that like sounds kind of weird. Yeah, I don't want to override it though. We're gonna live with it. Crap, I didn't mean to do that. Just clear that. Okay, so I want to do 4 of these. And I want this ghost note to only happen on the 4th one. So we're going to use the nth command on 4. And then maybe I'll have this one be on 1 and 3. Maybe I'll just have this one be on 2. Dude, that's what's up. Ableton and MPC. Dude, I can dig it. And then Daniel Kim 9997 says, what are the table hops doing? So yeah, the table hop, basically what it does is it's like micro timing. So here, I'll show you. So the table hop is telling the instrument to play at a certain row of this table. And the way the table is set up is that it's all these tick FFs, which that's 200 hertz. I don't know how many seconds I think it's like 5 milliseconds or something. I can't remember. But yeah, so 200 hertz. And basically when you have it play from a certain row, it's like 200 hertz, wait, 200 hertz, wait, 200 hertz, wait, until it gets all the way to the bottom, and then it plays at full volume. So when you have the table hop set to something super low, like 0.2 or 0.3, it's going to wait a lot more 200 hertz times before it actually plays the full volume of the sample. So it's kind of like a way to use micro timing. You're telling it to re-trigger over and over again, and then it finally triggers at full volume at the end. So it's kind of weird. It's definitely not a table of my design. I found it on the Dirtywave Discord, but it works quite well. And I find that it gets you a little bit more resolution than doing the delay, because you can always double the BPM and just have more ticks per step, but it's kind of a pain doing that. So I use the table configuration instead. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I have a video about it too. I think it's called Micro Timing Methods on the M8 or something. So if you want like a more kind of organized description of how it works, then you can check that out. Yeah, man, let me see if I can dig it up, actually. Should be pretty easy to find. There you go. Okay. Listening to this loop over and over again. Let's I don't even know if I have to do an open hat. We'll just keep it the way it is so I can get to jamming, which is the fun part. So let's take a look. Yeah, it's more resolution than the delay effect command, and you don't have to deal with the kind of wonky like double, quadruple BPM type tricks. So it's pretty sick, but it does eat up, you know, the table basically. I'm not really sure how the other columns of the table work, but it definitely functions if you're just okay with sacrificing the table for it. Okay, let's do something here. And what we're gonna do is play some notes in using the Lo-Fi 12 XT. Oh, I have to set up one more thing. So we're gonna do input volume. Whoa. Yeah, input volume to C0. And basically what you're hearing is a VST on the computer, which is being triggered by the Lo-Fi 12 XT. So yeah, I don't really know how to play, but we're gonna hack something out, and I can change the scale and root note using the Lo-Fi 12 XT in this kind of controller mode, quote unquote. So we can do minor AB. And then let me load up some keys so we can get down on that. Here we go. This one's called Road to Tokyo. Got some delay on it. Peace bells, dude. Just looking for like some chill keys. Where they at? Some mallets? Not quite. Sounds kind of spooky. It's quite warm. I'm like super into it, but I don't know if it's a good place to start. Super wonky. Dude, MX JXN Art, dude, I pronounced that right, asks, is the M8 as awesome as it seems? I think it's pretty cool, man. I don't know, how awesome does it seem? I think it seems pretty awesome. It's quite useful. It's very powerful, but you have to embrace the limitations, the things that it doesn't have. If you're okay with those, then it's pretty epic. And then one of the biggest things that it doesn't have is a way to do kind of like expressive performance. So that's something that can be challenging if you come from like a background where you're used to like tapping in your notes or whatever. You kind of got to sequence stuff. So there's that. But yeah, but I think it's pretty dope, man. Oh, so you're saying you were using Nitro Tracker, homebrew tracker software. Dude, yeah, man, you might be into it, bro. And you can try it for kind of cheap, so you don't have to buy the full device. There's like a way to run it on this thing called a Teensy, which is like this thing you can buy for like 40 bucks or something. And then you have an SD card that you put into it, and it lets you run this thing called Headless. It's like a alternate way of using the software, the tracker software. So it might be worth checking that out. So seeing what Headless is all about. And I'm sure if you like Google it, you'll be able to get started. But M8's pretty sick, man. I will say. Alright, I gotta find a cool sound. What is with all these? Dude, this sounds dark. definitely the gateway drug, that's for sure. I love expressing it like that. We'll get to FM bell type. I'll just keep it simple. Okay, so once I'm ready to record, oh crap, I actually have to set this thing up. Okay, there's just a couple things we got to do on M8. So first things first, we got to go to a new sampler instrument. New sampler instrument, okay. And then I go to record, and from here I just got to dial it in. Oh, it's already set up. This is what I did last time. I always forget that these settings persist. So yeah, song row 00, so it'll start the recording right at the beginning. Arm 00, so it'll start the recording right at the beginning again. This is like on row 0 of the song. This is like it's not waiting for a threshold recording, like a sound to play to start recording. It's just going to do it. And then we can hear what we're playing. So what was that chord? Maybe that. Let's see. So I was kind of just winging it there, but that's the great thing about recording all that is that it captured all the takes. It's probably too many takes in there, but yeah, I can adjust the, dude, 37 phrases. That is so long. I can adjust the length though, and then I can really just kind of crop out the ones that I don't think are good, and then just use the ones that I want. Or I could just keep them all. Dude, that would be crazy. Let me just keep them all and see if this is like, see how this works. So yeah, it's going to take a while to process the sample. We got the teensy doing all the hard work here. And there's 39 phrases. 37, I mean. So I'm going to slice 37. And then I think we can keep it the level it's at. Random name. It's called the Amber Scope. Oh crap, I just saved it to the wrong folder. Dang it. All right, we're going to redo that. Whoops, I didn't mean to save it to my kick folder. We're going to do test 1125. Okay, put it there. And so it shall live there. And then now what I can do is just drop some notes in. And this is the tightest part. I can scrub the whole sample just by using the slice command. There's 37. But if there's some that I like, I can just stop on it. And then what else sounds tight? Dude, LSDJ. I've been hearing sick things about that. I gotta check it out. But yeah, M8's pretty sick. It's like inspired by LSDJ, I think. I'm pretty sure that's the design of it is similar to like the Game Boy. You know, you've got like directional pad, start select, A and B. So pretty dope stuff, man. Okay. So let me find like a couple more interesting notes here. Oh, do like a climb. Nice. So just a basic riff there. Let's get some more sounds in the mix though. Let's try something else. Too fluttery. This sounds tight, but I gotta figure out how to like not have that like yomp yomp. really soft. Alright, I like the sound of that. Let's see if we get a good take. Nice. I think we got it. Okay, so length. Let's do 10 phrases. Maybe I could do 9. Yeah, I always like to keep like kind of a tail on it in case I want to fade it out or whatever. So I let the recording go for longer so I have an extra phrase, like a buffer. So that sounds chill. That was 9. And then I could do slice 9, SLI. And so now we've got things that correspond to the beginning of each phrase. Nice, super easy. And then random name. The funnest part of M8 is getting to look at these wacky names. Dude, Vexed Ocean. This ocean is quite vexed. What do you think vexes the ocean the most? Maybe like boats riding on top of it? I don't even know. All right, so we got that going. And then slice, don't even touch it. Keep it on off, 0, 0. It's a little quiet, I probably should have normalized it. And then yeah, so you do SLI. Nice. So I think that turned out pretty good. Yo, let me check up on the chat though. Dude, Jeremy O'Brien, 1922. Yeah, dude. Talking about the sampling capabilities of M8. Yeah, I just chopped this thing like super easy. So it's definitely dope. And then, dude, be jammin'. What's up, man? What's cracking? How's it going? How's, you swapped out your M8 for something recently, right? Like Electron? Some kind of Electron box? How's that working out for you? Alright, let me turn this down a little bit. So yeah, I think now we need some big old bass. So let's see if I can find a good one here. Oh, dude, got the Osmos keyboard? Dude, that's what's up. Sounds sick. Okay, bass. Bassy, bassy, bass. Oh yeah, let me get this set up too. Sampler, record, and I just hover over the record button so I'm ready to press it. Dude, I kind of like this bass. might have to use an external instrument. It's not a bad idea. Might be able to do some fake amp type stuff over here. Oh yeah, yep, after recording. Oh dude, be jammin'. Sold the DN2 and the M8. Dude, heck yeah. That's tight, man. I like that you can kind of just, yeah, use stuff. If you're not feeling it, move on to something else. That's dope quality, man. But yeah, you're asking if I use an audio interface. I was gonna say, let me try and make this quieter. Yeah, so the audio interface situation is kind of wonky over here at the J-Macula studio. But I mostly rely on these types of devices to be the audio interface. So I have the USB going out, and that's what you're hearing on the stream. You're hearing the digital audio come out of the M8. So the M8 is the audio interface. But this thing is also an audio interface, the Lo-Fi 12 XT. So this thing does audio over the USB. So you're not hearing the audio of this. Basically, I'm sending the audio from my computer to this. That's how you're hearing like the bass instrument. And then the analog out of this goes into the M8. And then the M8 goes out to my mixer. So I have a mixer as well, which is not an audio interface. So it's kind of complicated. And then I also have an audio interface for my mic. So this is going to, it's called the Audio Box USB. It's like this old interface that I've had for like, I don't know, maybe 10 years or something. It's super old. And that is basically doing the mic. So I have 1, 2, 3 audio interfaces. This thing, and then the thing that the mic is plugged into. So it's kind of a mess over here, but we make it work. And that's what I love about these kinds of devices, is that if you can send the audio over USB, dude, it's like plug and play. You can use it as the interface. You can record audio super easily into your DAW or whatever. You can stream with stuff. Dude, M8's super fun to stream with, especially considering the fact that you have this M8.run window that allows you to like see the display and stuff. It's pretty epic. So yeah, that, to answer your question, I have a lot of audio interface type stuff going on. And I have a Windows computer too, so I think on Mac it's probably like easier to do the audio type stuff. But on Windows it's kind of ridiculous, so I just, yeah, I kind of use everything as an interface, basically. Okay. Oh yeah, I gotta play this bass line. Where are we at? Yeah, track 6. Yep, okay. Yeah, I'm probably gonna put a low pass filter on it after I record it. Let's see if I can come up with something on the fly. Totally messed it up at the beginning there. Something good there. And we let it ring out, even though with the bass, it's not really as important to do that. And then bring it down to 13 phrases. I think I had some good takes toward the end here. So let's start at 5. Let's see what's what. Nope. Start at 6. Oh yeah, that's the last one. So I guess it really does start at 5, and then I can do 6, 7, 8, start at 9. Yeah, so I have 2 takes of me playing the bass line just in case I want to switch out one of the slices or whatever. All right, Cropzilla. Then what? 9 phrases. Slice 09. Yeah. And then random name. Cherry render. Sounds delicious. I'm getting a little hungry over here. Thinking about cherry renders. And save it. Okay. And this is the fun part. Drop the slice in. Alright, so now I can put that low pass on if I want to scale it back a little bit. Turn it into more of like a smooth bass. But music was talking about putting the amp on there, so we can do that. Bad. And then, oh yeah, Jeremy wrote in earlier. I forgot to reply to this. So he says, how come you removed the keycaps off M8? I've done it in the past to keep the noise down when jamming next to the wife in bed. Dude, heck yeah. That's what's up. Yeah, so I took the keycaps off because it makes it a lot thinner. So it's kind of easier to put in your pocket and stuff. That's pretty much it. It didn't really have too much to do with the noise, especially because M8 Model 2, it's kind of got that like cavity, you know? So the keycap, or not keycap, the switch sits in the body a little bit. So it was kind of already halfway there, so I was like, let me take it off, see what it's like. It's kind of fun, actually. So yeah, we are going M8 naked. No keycaps. It's no keycap November. Don't you forget it. Okay. So this sounds pretty dope. Yeah, and then you got the silent switches as well. You got options, man. Yeah, no cap all the way, dude. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. So we got the bass in there. What else we got? Some brass and wind, dude. I'm gonna immediately regret this. something with these notes. See if I got it here. Something like that. Just play a bunch of takes, see what sticks. Screwed that up. One more time. That up, but there's definitely a good take in there, and that's all we need. We take those. All right, so probably around hither, perhaps. Nice, so this is not bad. I need to bring it back 2 though. So that's 8, and that's 9. 9 is the lucky number tonight. And slice 9. And then random name. Envious Nova. Nice. I'm into that. And then save it. Envious Nova. I wonder what it's envious of. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, let me put the note in here. Slice 01 or 00 actually. Another layer there. Already at 8 tracks. How we be doing this? Alright, let's see. Last layer. But not the definitive last, because we can always resample and combine stuff. Yeah, because the rhythm section's on 3 tracks right now. So I could definitely combine those and get some more space if needed. Get out of the brass and woodwind section here. What are we looking for? A lead. Lead me to the best sound. barking up the wrong tree. Maybe something chill like a kalimba or something. Some kind of bell. It's very synthy. Kind of cool. We're almost there. Oh, the Glock, dude? Glockenspiel? Dude, MXJXN says the Glock is the sound right there. Let me pull that back up. We'll make it work. That might be the ticket there. See if I can play that. I might have got it there. That one sounded all right. So let's trim it to size. Whoa. 16 or 17, I mean. And then we'll bring it up. I'm thinking, what's the lucky number tonight? You know what it is. It's 9 phrases. Yeah, I think that's 2 good takes of it. So we're going to take that and randomize. Yo, dude, bad ham? Whoa. Interesting. I'm not going to ask any questions about that one. We're going to let that one slide. Bad ham gets a free pass tonight. Okay, save it. And yeah, if I normalize it, it's going to be nuts. So I'm just going to keep it the way it is. And slice 0, 0. Let's start putting it all together. See what we got. We're gonna put it all down. Put it all on the line. Alright, so everything is 4 phrases long. And that's how we do. Oh, shoot, I didn't mean to do that. God dang it. Okay. Dude, this is embarrassing. Okay, I accidentally cloned everything, which I did not mean to do. I wanted to copy it. Paste it like this, but I was going too fast. Okay, and then I need to do my 0, 0. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of some of these extra layers and we're going to bring them in kind of one at a time-ish. It's like, where's the bass? This one is the bass. But let's try adding some OTT. Get it sounded spicy. This is the glue right here. It's like literally have no idea what I'm doing here. I just wanted to sound hot. I gotta do some mixing here too. Can't even hear the kick drum. so bad at mixing, it's not even funny. Alright, there we go. The drums are a little more forward now. I just turned everything down by 1-0. Yeah, that OTT it adds some character, that's for sure. Some chest hair on there. Nice. So we're on to something here. Dang, chat's been blowing up though. I gotta keep an eye on this thing. Oh yeah, I don't know if there's an undo when it comes to cloning that thing that I did. I might have just messed that up. There might be though. Oh. Yeah, undo in the sample editor. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. And then yeah, the song snapshot as well. I haven't messed around too much with that, but I gotta try it out because I think that's a good way to kind of recall like a previous state. Although now that they have the there's the backups that get created if you're on the latest firmware, that is pretty dope because you can always just jump back to a previous version as long as you're saving somewhat frequently. But yeah, Jeremy O'Brien says no idea what I'm doing here. Yeah, dude. Yeah, the OTT's fun, but it's like, I don't know, it just makes it sizzle. And I like the sizzle sound, but sometimes it's too much. But I don't know. It's got a good sound to it. That's for sure. That's the best part too, is you can always scale it back. If you feel like it's too hot, you just bring it down a couple. Just keep it very light. But yeah, music's right. Let the ears be the judge. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of possibilities when it comes to adjusting the levels and getting everything sounding right in the mix. Filters, EQ, you can do amp, limiter per instrument, volume, and all the rest of it. Lots of options. Always a lot of fun. I never get tired of doing that, just wiggling my finger on the touchscreen. Yeah, there's some pretty interesting like live performance stuff you can do with the M8 too. You know, get down on the touchscreen, do the mute outs. starts like soloing. And there's a lot of like MIDI CC controls, so you can have, you know, external controllers that you can turn knobs on and it kind of adjusts the sound and stuff. There's not as much of that I can do with like samples, but I know with like the internal M8 instruments you can do a lot of like interesting stuff like that. Wow, just listening to this loop over and over again. I'm really caught in the vibe here. Let me turn it down though. But yeah, so this beat turned out sick. I'm into it. It ended up a little more synthy than I thought it was going to be. But that's what's up. And then yeah, I made that other one too. Yeah, actually, here, let's listen to the other one. And I still got to save this. So we got stuff we got to do here. Dude, I haven't even saved it the whole time. It's ridiculous. I live my life on the edge. And 5B. Beh. Alright, save it. Alright, what was the other one I did? Yeah, 1125A. Should be this one. See how it turns out. Whoa, what the heck did I do? Oh, I accidentally touched the screen. That's one of the problems with that, mapping the touchscreen, is you accidentally touch it and it just mutes everything out. There we go. Oh yeah, the copy snapshot. I gotta try that. That's tight. And then music's asking if I use live play mode that much. I really don't, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I accidentally get to it when I'm trying to get to the project screen. For some reason, I always think it's to the left, and so I'll press it, and I'll be like, "What the hell is going on with this thing?" So how exactly does this work? Because I really don't know. You just it allows you to like queue certain chains or something. And then I would assume you can press play again and it'll stop it. Oh no, it just keeps playing it. Oh, shift play is how you... Okay, I got you. Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know about that. Oh, alright. So it allows you to kind of like build... You can have like different, I guess, sections of the song that are just floating in like different parts of the song page. And then kind of queue them up as you go. It's interesting. I gotta play around with it more. Because yeah, usually I just build the arrangement like from the bottom to the top. But it seems like live mode, you'd have a little more flexibility with regards to, yeah, if you wanted to like play a bridge section or other types of sections, you wouldn't have to like, you know, build the, I don't know, I was gonna make a joke about like an old building, but you don't have to, yeah, create a complex structure. You could just use live mode. That's kind of tight. Yeah, like a clip launcher. Okay. I don't have a lot of experience with Ableton, so that sounds dope. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I get what's going on here. Yeah, the sampler's dope, man. Lots of cool stuff. And there you have it, folks. Dude, 2 beats on the M8. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, I like using the Tuesday sessions to really just kind of jam out using the Lo-Fi 12 XT, play some cool notes in like a certain scale, and then see what we can come up with on the M8. So yeah, I'm going to post one of these without the drums on the Patreon in case you want to like flip it or chop it or do whatever you want with it. So keep an eye out for that. I'll probably do that tomorrow. And yeah, I think that's going to do for this session. So just want to say thanks to everyone for tuning in, rocking out with me. Dude, big shout out to Music, blowing up the chat, dude. Jeremy O'Brien. Who else we got? Let me read these names. MX, JXN Art, dude. Dude, B Jammin dropped in for a little bit. Any of my other people out there? Daniel Kim 997. Dude, Gar Magnus. Yep. Evan Erickson Music. Bro. Gad Earthrid. Gigi. Engineer. Everyone. Even I added to the chat. So it's a team effort. But yeah, I'm going to call it here. But yeah, I hope to catch you on the next one. But until then, peace.